And thanks for being here, everybody. We'll have a couple people filter through the waiting room, but in the meantime, I just wanted to introduce the webinar today. This is the Acorn app webinar in which we'll do a best demonstration that I could give. Unfortunately, I was doing a lot of testing with different avenues of having the iPad join the meeting and try to do screen share, and also with doing it through my phone, which is an Android. And unfortunately, whenever you try to do a screen share through a device, it seems through Zoom, it comes out so choppy that it doesn't really capture the whole experience of using a touchpad device. So I wasn't able to, unfortunately, download any things that could emulate the experience that well either. But I appreciate everybody coming in. Actually, you know what? Let's give it a couple more minutes just because it seems like there's more people filtering in. So we'll start around like 11:03. Okay. Thanks for waiting to give some people some extra time to come in. So my name is Gina. I work as the Evergreen Systems Manager here at Biblimation, and thank you very much today for giving us some time to talk to you about the Acorn app. We have a couple of other people from Biblo here as well, but I feel like for the majority of the time I'll be doing the best I could to get through the presentation and demo of how to use the app. If you're someone who has used the Acorn catalog app before, I don't think anything here will like really surprise you. However, there are a couple of like other features that we wanted to highlight. And of course, talk about push notifications because since we started moving towards that model and the situation with SMS right now, and I'll address that a little bit more as we move forward here, has been kind of like pushing us to try to get this new development of push notifications available for the app. At Help Desk, we've been getting a good amount of questions about it. So hopefully we'll spend more time to ask and answer questions than show you the demonstration. One thing that I just want to mention is that I did try the very best I could to make this a live demo, meaning having a screen share with an iPad or an Android device. But unfortunately, with Zoom, it comes out like so choppy and doesn't register in time enough that it kind of like just takes away from the experience of using the app fully and gets like pretty distracting. So I have to supplement that with some screenshots. These slides will become available on our website as well as the recording for this webinar as well. So we'll do the very best that we can to supplement some other things with videos and tutorial videos as well. Those recordings seem to go a little bit better, and we'll host that to our YouTube page at some point. But I don't have those available just yet. Okay, so there's just one thing I want to do here for a second. Just gonna have someone be a co-host here. Hi, Anna. Good morning. Okay, so Tom, you are now co-host. Just letting you know. Okay, so let's get started here. And as we go through this webinar, and if people have questions or comments too that they would need to have like additions to these slides, we'll also add to the slides too. So we'll try to keep this kind of quick for you today, but again, trying to keep that time at the end safe for Q&A. We'll talk about how to use the app. I have just Android screenshots because luckily between the two apps, they're pretty much identical with like one difference here or there between Android and iOS or like Apple devices. And then we'll talk about push notifications. There's some stuff that we have to share about that, and also some optional features that you could add into the Acorn app. And if you have questions, feel free to put them in chat whenever you would like to. If you would rather come on to talk to us, it'd probably be best to leave that for the end because we'll keep that available. So again, fortunately, I'm stuck with the screenshots because Zoom is not great with screen sharing from devices, so we'll do the best that we can with this. Um, Basically, the Acorn Catalog app is able to do a lot of things that the catalog or the OPAC can do for a patron. It's pretty well received, I feel. The push notifications development has been somewhat new, but we felt like now would be a good review to also go over other things that are in the app that you might not have explored yet and just how to use it in general. So if you are new, let's just say like you're completely new to the Acorn app, you never registered your account or logged in with your account to the app before. So you will get assigned into your Biblimation account screen like this, where you'll just put your card name or username and your password, which is very similar to what's like in the OPAC. So it's the same username or card number, barcode card number rather, and the password that people use to log into the OPAC. If someone has forgot their password or they like to request a setup for the password, there is this forgot password button that you could click on that will bring you actually to the OPAC screen through the phone's browser. There's a lot of words there. So that you could just go ahead and put in your barcode number, or if the patron does have a username, they could put the username in there. And then they'll be sent an email, and then it's just a typical like password reset from there. Okay, so this is basically what the main screen of the Acorn catalog will look like. So there are like a couple of differences, again, between the iPad and the Android device, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. I do have the iPad with me, so if someone wants to request looking at something through the iPad, I could do my best to screen share. Just warning you, it's not going to look that great. But in any case, it's set up with different tiles in here. You might see three tiles that are additional to what you normally see, which are events, ebooks, and digital and museum passes. We'll go over those towards the end. Those are optional things that you could put into your Acorn catalog. And if you tap on this, we call it the hamburger icon because it's three lines that are kind of like, you got the meat and then like the hamburger buns on top of it, all vertically aligned. And that is on the top left-hand corner. If you do tap on that, it does actually give you pretty much like the same options in this left-hand panel that comes out. But for the most part, the home screen will also offer that same menu of options for you. So the app does default to dark mode, which is what you're seeing on the left-hand side. That is just basically the background is all dark, and then the text is white, or at least a lighter color, so it contrasts well to it. This we found to be pretty helpful for people, especially if like they're using their devices at night, or if anyone gets like particular eye strains, or if you're someone like me, you get eye strain from lights. It is helpful. But there is a light mode that you can use. So if you tap on the three vertical dot icon, sometimes the zoom controls get in the way, that will be on the upper right-hand corner. There is all these options that do come out, and light mode is the one on the bottom. And if you do tap on that, it'll switch you over to what you see on the right-hand side. Other things that you can do through that small menu here is add an account. So you don't necessarily have to just have one account logged in per device. So let's say that you have like a family iPad or you share your iPad with your children or other children. You can add that other account in there, in which will basically just bring you to that same sign-in menu. It's Works the same as it does like when you just signed in initially to the app if you've never used it before. And you could also log out of your account too. iPhone. Okay. Kathy, I could try to demonstrate that at the end with the iPad in a moment. I think it's actually probably in one menu, which is that person icon with the circle on the top right-hand corner. But we'll go ahead and give a demonstration of that at the end. You're welcome. And please let me know if anyone wants also see another demonstration of that through the iPad later. So once you do have more than one account that is registered to your device, then you'll be able to switch accounts if you'd like to. You may have noticed, and I'm just going to go backwards for a moment here. So if I go to the last slide, that switch account option is grayed out here. And then it becomes selectable or, a choice that you could now choose because now one or more accounts have been put in here. And also another thing too is that if you do open up the app for the first time of the day, or if your device has been restarted, it will come up with a choose an account option. So I have one test account that has a username, so it's going to show up as a username as opposed to a barcode at the bottom. So sometimes having those usernames are helpful. And to set a username, the patron can do that in the OPAC. Unfortunately, you can't do it in the app, but if you log in through the OPAC, you can do that. And if someone wants a demo of that later, we could add it to the end here. Okay, so now going through the tile options, at least the ones that are the required ones that everybody gets by default and not the optional ones. We're going to start with the digital library card, and it just basically brings up your digital library card, so it's pretty self-explanatory. It also includes the expiration at the bottom, and sometimes these scan pretty well, but it depends on like what kind of scanner that you have. In a situation where you have a patron who would rather use a digital library card, I would also recommend that they turn the brightness of their phone up as like much as they could. Sometimes having the brightness turned down, it's like a very dim screen. It could be harder to scan. But despite if you are in a dark mode setting as your default, it's still going to come up as light mode because that's how the barcode is visible. Another thing that's also helpful is if you tap on the barcode itself, it actually copies to your clipboard, meaning that you could paste it into text if you need to. So that way you don't have to type out the barcode every single time. Okay, so next is search catalog, which is our next tile that we're going to look at. And this is again straightforward. I don't need to train the experts on how to search for things. So this automatically comes up with a keyword search and in all formats, but also the preferred library, which is set again through the patron's account that they could either access through the OPAC, but you could also set up I think the preferred library through through the staff side too. But that is something that they could set up as a preferred search library through the OPAC and their preferences. So this one is interesting because I'm not sure if many people use it, but it's up to you. There is this like little barcode icon that's towards the top and to the right. And what this brings up is Google Lens. I haven't really checked to see like how well it works on iOS or even like how available it is. But on Android, it is available. So the Google Lens will basically come up with this like Google colored box, and what you can do is scan the ISBN in there. What's really handy with that is that you could actually do it, and then it automatically fills out the search term with ISBN or UPC number, which will be pretty helpful, especially if you're thinking about going out to your stacks. I know a couple of people have asked about having a mobile option for searching the catalog. And if you want to use the Acorn app on like whatever staff device that you have, you can use the Google Lens to look up those ISBNs that way. Works on iPhone. Great. Thank you, Meg. So that could probably be helpful if you're trying to just, for whatever reason, if you're in the stacks and you need to see what kind of like stuff that you have, that will be available to you, as well as your patrons. All right, so other things that I think are pretty quick that we can get through. The type of search, sorry. type of search was what I meant to say earlier, is going to be on the left-hand side. If you tap on keyword, then you have things like title, author, subject, series, and the ISBN or UPC that you'll see at the bottom. And then there's also formats that you could look up. Everything that you could basically select as a format in the staff catalog and the public catalog are available here, so nothing's going to surprise you. And then, of course, there is the search library as well. And it's set up the same way as it is in the OPAC. So, again, no surprises, which is what we like to see. All right. So if you do find a search result, I search for quilting as a keyword search in all formats for Litchfield. You could tap on the title itself, and then it'll bring you to the item details. It's pretty quick. There is, of course, more information that I don't have displayed on here, but this is just like a snippet of like what it looks like. But in any case, I just wanted to let you know that you could do place a hold here, do some more copy information, and add to list that we'll talk about in a second. So to place a hold, if you tap on that, this is what the hold form is going to look like. And same thing, it's just going to come up with the notifications and the preferences that it's set up in the account. So for me, it's an email notification. You might notice that it's actually not filled out here. I think that's just a feature of the app. But otherwise, there's also phone number. I know we have like a few things about SMS that we're going to talk about here too, because this sort of ties into those notifications. But you could change the pickup library if you would like to. And then, of course, there's a placeholder button that's on the bottom. For copy information, it's very bare bones. That's the copy information. Shows that it's available, more specifically that there's one copy available under this bib record that Litchfield has. It's an adult nonfiction, and here's the call number. And if you do add to a list, it's only going to give you a selection of pre-existing lists. So you can't start a new list out of this option. You would have to go into the list that we'll talk about momentarily and then select a new one, then possibly put it back in. So if anyone is like really into list making, as you can see here, I have like tons of examples. Probably doing the list first before you search is a good workflow. But those are your selections for the search details and the item detail. All right, so next is library hours and info. Nothing crazy here, just gives you the information. There's also upcoming closures, which I think is kind of nice. So if you do have those holidays that are set up, Memorial Day has already passed, but Independence Day, July 4th. And what I have Litchfield as the example library here for my test patron. So Festival of Trees. I don't know what that is, but it sounds kind of cool. So that'll be, it looks like about like a week to be closed. So if you do have like an extended close date range, then it's going to look like this. We also have contact information and phone number, which could be handy. So if you tap on those respective links, it'll bring you up to your email if you have that installed on your phone, and also just the phone part of your phone to dial the number if you do decide to call. There is also address information too, that's towards the bottom, but that's pretty much it for that tile. And we'll do one more and then we'll try to take a break for some questions because we're moving along pretty quickly here. Items out does not really have anything that crazy in it. It's pretty much like renewing and letting you know if something's overdue or even in like a lost section. One thing that I did forget to put in the slides here, which I'll have to supplement and probably give a demo of at the end, is this icon of the clock at the upper right-hand corner. Sorry, I just forgot to. There's a lot of screenshots I had to take. I probably just forgot to do those. But that is basically your history. So if you do have items checked out or your circulation history that is enabled in your account, then that's basically where that button takes you. So we'll try to take a look at that, see if the test account that we have logged into the iPad has it later. But yep, you can renew. The nice thing is it also tells you if you have renewals left on it, the due date, and then this is what it's going to look like if it's going to be overdue. I should also probably mention that one of the push notifications that we only have two right now, is something's going to be coming up overdue. Sorry, not overdue, but due as a over, pre-overdue courtesy notice, I think is what I was trying to say. So if something's going to become up due in about like 3 days, that's when that push notification goes out. All right, so we'll do fines, holds in my list, but I just wanted to take a break for any questions. I'm sorry if I'm moving fast. It's just a pretty straightforward app, luckily, to work with, but please let me know if you do have any. I'll take a break for a second. Automatic renewals. I think that Litchfield does have automatic renewals set up, so I guess it doesn't show it. The thing with renewals and auto renewals is that it's not two separate things. It's really the same. And what it really is like you have like your set amount of renewals, right? So like for the majority of libraries, it's about two. And if you do have auto renewals that are available for two, that's really just meaning that two or all those like renewals could automatically be applied. So I think that's probably why it's not in here because one, I don't know if we could scope it to the library specifically, and not every library has auto renewals available for every type of item. And two, I think it could probably get confusing because again, it's all the same amount of renewals. It's just what could be automatically applied as to manually. No, but I think it will. Sorry, I meant to read the question first. Does it tell you when the auto renewal was applied after the fact? That I think is more so for the notices that'll be sent through email. Is probably the best way to get a good indication of that. We don't have push notifications available for auto renewals yet. We're going to try to experiment rather with different things that we can possibly do with the app. But for now, the only notifications you will get is if it's going to be coming up due and if a hold is ready for pickup. But no indication if it's been auto-renewed after the fact. Is there any way to see the number of pages in the book? That's a good question, Claire, so we'll save that for the end and try to demo it. And Francie said, did you say that the change from dark mode to light mode is not available? It is available on iPhone. I think it's in a separate icon, which I'll demo at the end for you. So if I don't do that, just remind me and I'll do that for you. And how many renewals are available? So that's more specific to your circ rules. Unfortunately, I can't give a very specific answer for this. Renewals is basically dependent on the circ rule that is assigned to your circ modifier, and that's dependent on what the director or manager of that particular department decides or decides to maintain. We do, as a consortial standard, have a limit of two renewals that you can do. So it's either going to be 0, 1, or 2, depending on what's going on. Oh, okay. I was saying that it
Gina,
does. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Gina, I have a question.
Yes.
Um, can you just quickly explain that Google Lens again? I was a little confused on exactly what that does.
Okay, sure. I'm going to answer another question in chat first, and then I'll pop over there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Meg, I was saying it does tell you. Oh, okay. All right. It does tell you through the app for my library under the item, not as a notification. Okay. All right. Well, then I guess it does let you know if it's auto renewed. I'm sorry that I don't have like a specific answer to that, but this is good because then we could add more information to our instructional video when we have that available. And I'll talk about the events tab in the app, Kimmy, because that's a optional thing. Okay, so the other question about the Google Lens, I'll go back to that slide. So give me a sec. It's going to take a bit to get there. So what it basically does is it scans barcodes. So if you do have like something with an ISBN or UPC that you want to scan for whatever reason, that's basically like what that's there for. So not only does it scan it, but it also automatically selects the matching thing. And what I mean thing, I'm sorry, the search type. So it says ISBN or UPC once that scans in. So you don't have to fully type out the ISBN, it's just more so to be helpful in that way. Ken, does the patron need their Apple ID to download Acorn for the first time on iOS device? So Ken, I actually don't know iOS that well, sadly, because I just don't have one. I know based on experience, though, some people might have their privacy settings set up that they at least need to have a password if they're trying to download something. And that's kind of like associated with parental controls. But if someone actually knows the answer to this specifically, please put it in chat. Um, and Ken, let me know if that was your experience too, because it would be nice to know that. Um, I feel like their Apple ID should be saved to the device though, because I know that they try to at least like get you to save an account or associate an account with your device when you first set it up. So yeah, I have to run into. Okay, when I try to download apps. Okay, all right. Well, thank you. Apple ID was required. And do you know if that was automatically filled out for you, or did you need to manually input that?
It was not manually. I have to type it in, my Apple ID.
Oh, okay. All right. I wonder if there is possibly like a setting to save it. But yeah, I wish I could give you some more information about that. When I downloaded, it was automatically filled. It depends on user setting. Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Sarah. That was a great confirmation. Okay, so we'll move forward, but please keep putting your questions in chat, and then once we get through the next like couple of things, we'll keep moving here. So again, sorry that we're here with screenshots. I really wanted to have again like the live demo so that it could answer these questions better. But we'll try to do it at the end and see how well the iPad does. Okay. So we're gonna go through three more tiles, and then we'll take another like section before we take more questions, and then we'll go into the other tiles that we see here that are optional. So, and when I mean optional, I mean that it's optional to have that visible for the patron. It depends on the library. So, fines. If a library has online payments enabled, we use Stripe actually for online payments that you could do through the OPAC. I believe that pay fines button comes up if that is an option because it's going to bring you over to the OPAC. But it could be possible that I think that pay fines button is there for every library. If that's the case, I know that we were interested in talking to our developer to see if we could have that more related to the home library. We don't have everybody signed up with Stripe. We have a few people signed up with Stripe. But just letting you know that is an option if you do want to have online payments available for your patrons, because you can at least within the Acorn app get to the correct place if it is available to pay those fines. But in any case, I don't have many fines to show really. It's pretty straightforward. This was just a grocery bill that I put onto this account. And if it was something more associated with like an overdue or something of like a line item with a copy, it would populate it in the screenshot. But I will do my best to try to have that available in a revised version of this PowerPoint. Unfortunately, we don't really have like a great way to work with fines in ways of like I have to put like one in production in order for it to show up. But I'll try my best to give you an example of an overdue and also make sure that's in the instructional video. So for holds, this is one example of a hold that I actually have in transit. And again, the push notification, the second push notification that I didn't touch upon a lot is the hold ready for pickup. What's nice about tapping that particular notification is that it actually brings you to the screen automatically. And if it's something that's going to be coming up that's due, it's going to bring you to the items out. So they do have like some dynamic function in that way. So this is what one item looks like when it's coming up on hold. It's not available, as you can see, because it says in transit from this library. And it also gives you a timestamp of when the status has changed. If you want to edit the hold before it becomes available for pickup, you're able to also do that through the Acorn app as best as possible. So not ideal when it's in transit, but this is also an option that's available in the OPAC anyways. And you could change some things like suspend the hold if you want to just wait more time in order to have it become available for you to pick up. If there is a expiration date, you could fill something in. And if you want the hold to become active after a certain date, you could also put that in as well. You could also cancel the hold and edit the pickup location. A couple of things coming. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for filling in for me in chat to search through that Play Store, it looks like, to find the app. Appreciate it. All librarians being together. Okay. So the last tile that is part of the default set is my lists. And basically, it brings you a very, very simple view of everything here. It also gives you the item count on the side. If there is a description that is in the list, it will also come up as smaller text underneath it. So I'm going to look at the Christmas list I made at Gun, which I think I did at a previous library visit there. And it just gives you just a very simple list of the titles, author, and publication year. You can remove things as you can see from those buttons. If you want to sort anything, there's this icon that kind of looks like a backward stairs, I guess. And what it'll do is just sort by author, publication date, or title. Sorry, let me go back once more. And the arrow button actually lets you go alphabetically or in reverse, depending on which direction that it's going. So it will automatically default to alphabetical, but if for whatever reason you want to reverse that, you could tap that button and it will reverse the order. And if it is publication date, then it's going to go by numerical value. So that's basically what that arrow does. And if you want to delete the list, there is an icon that's kind of hidden for that in here. But that's basically where that option lives if you want to delete the list. Okay, so if you want to create a list, I just basically put in something like Acorn here on the side and then create list, and there you go. That's a new list. It's really as simple as that. And if you want to do any more editing with the lists, I would probably recommend it might be better to do things like add a description or something like that within the OPAC through a browser. It doesn't look like that description is an option that you can do within the app yet, but we'll see if that might become something available in the future. We're trying our best to put in as much effort into the app because this is like a free option for our members. And now that we have push notifications available, I think it will become a much more powerful tool. But because we're also on the guinea pig list of consortia and libraries that are trying out the Acorn app, I think we were probably the second to try the push notifications. There was like some development process that we were going through. So it's exciting. It's like a lot of new stuff, but that is basically it for the tiles. We'll go into the push notifications. I hope that I can answer a lot of your questions, but was there anything anyone wanted to ask? Okay, Brian, the event section is going to come up later. That is an optional tile. I'll talk about that towards the end. And I'll answer your question more specifically with libcal and everything there. Does the find tile show lost items? It should. I'll also do my best to update these screenshots to show a lost item. But yeah, anything that shows up in finds that you'll see in the OPAC will be reflected in the Acorn app. Sorry I didn't have that example for you today. You're welcome. Okay. All right, so for push notifications, I have a couple of examples here. One that's on my Android device. The thing with Android, and this is probably like something to just keep in mind, is that Android is not probably as like one fits all as iOS is, which could sometimes make dealing with phone settings and configuration with that a little bit tough. I have a phone that's not really like manufactured like very popularly. It's a OnePlus 3 as compared to like something like a Samsung Galaxy. So my settings menus are going to look a little bit different as someone who has like a Galaxy or maybe like a Motorola. So your mileage will vary depending on like what the manufacturer of the phone is if you are running with Android. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost because that'll be kind of important when we talk about this. So again, we have the two push notifications right now, which are hold ready for pickup and courtesy. We'll see if we can develop something maybe with like automatic renewals. It could be possible, but again, this is very new frontier for us, so we'll have to do what we can to see what we could come up with. But again, it's very exciting to have these push notifications, so maybe it'll be possible. We'll let everybody know, of course, in our updates if like something like this will become available. And when you install the app for the first time, there will be a prompt to enable push notifications that will show up again when the app is installed. If for whatever reason, and I understand that there might be some people who maybe had the Acorn app on their phone for like a long time but never deleted it, or they just never really used it often. Even so, during that time when we were transitioning over to the push notifications, if you did open up the app, that prompt should have came up as well. But there is a way to at least check and see if the notifications are actually enabled on a phone or not. So I'm going to just skip over that last slide for a second. So to do that, I unfortunately was only able to take video with this, and I tried to do the best that I can with my phone. But I also try to do the best I can to give you basically like a skeleton of like what you have to look for when you're trying to enable notifications. So we're just going to play this. So what I'm doing is I'm going into my settings and typically, sorry, I'm going to pause it. It looks like a gear icon. And for me, it's just a little bit easier to search for apps or notification. And sorry, just restarted. But in this example, I'm searching for, looks like apps, and then it's going to be under app management for my phone. And then off alphabetically, sorry, the slides are like so hard to pause things with. It's going to show a list of all the apps that are there, typically in alphabetical order. So Acorn, luckily, is starts with A, so it should probably be one of the top items that you have there. If you tap on that, then usually like the first option is to like manage notifications. And it says allow, which means that, okay, I actually do have notification sending over to my phone and it's allowed to do that. But if it's not allowed, or for whatever reason someone wants to turn it off, they could tap into that particular thing and turn the slider so that it's no longer activated. It'll look blue on most Android devices and green on the iOS. And speaking of the iOS, I also have another video to show you there. This one's a little bit more straightforward because the iOS options are pretty uniform between devices. So I went into the settings icon, which also looks like a gear, that particular app uh, icon that was on the home screen. And luckily, there's like set up a little bit more organized. So there's a notifications tab that's over here on the left. If you tap that, and you could also, I'm sorry, let me go back a second. I wish this was a live demo. Then you could also see like the suggested apps here. So Acorn Catalog is the first one. And if you tap on that in particular, then it will come up with the option to allow notifications. They also give you like other options of like where you want that to be. If you want it to be a banner, which will be on the very top of the device, you could have it show up there. If you want it to show up in the lock screen, meaning like when it's locked like this, and then like when you try to turn it on, it says that I have like an email here, that's what they'll look like. So it's stuff to like experiment with. It's really up to your preferences in particular. Sorry, that was like a little bit tough to navigate through. I guess like embedding videos and PowerPoint's like a little bit tough. So let me just wrap up with this part, and then if you have like further questions about push notifications before we get into the other tiles, we'll go ahead and answer those questions. So Currently, we don't have the push notifications logged in the event/triggered notifications tab within the patron account. That is typically a tab that you will go to if you want to check and see if an email or an SMS have sent over to a patron. We don't have that logged particularly with the push notifications right now. We could look into developing this because I know that there was a couple of questions about that. But that could potentially be helpful, I suppose, if a patron does ask about push notifications and if one was sent to them and you know that their settings are enabled. We can't resend push notifications, so that's just bottom line. We can't resend them. So just wanted people to be aware about that. And I know that there has been a little bit of confusion with the Hemlock push notification enabled setting that's in the patron account. So while I'm taking questions after this, I'll get out of this PowerPoint and show you what that looks like within the staff side. Basically, what we're trying to do is have that hidden so that won't be showing up anymore and causing confusion. We do have basically this automatic script that runs where if someone does register and log into the Acorn app with their account, then that setting turns on. But we're going to work to have that a bit more automated and also not have it visible within the patron account information. It should be under the user/hold settings section of the patron account or when you're registering someone as a checkbox. But we found that it's just like too confusing. It's just better if we just get rid of it. But I could show you what that looks like. So I'm going to get out of this PowerPoint and get into Acorn. Let me just stop sharing for a second. If you have any questions in the meantime about push notifications, I'll do my very best to answer them. Let's see evergreen sound. Okay, so I have the patron account pulled up. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So it's a little bit easier to see. Okay, let me just switch the screen share over for a second. Okay, so we're in the patron account. This is just me editing the test account that I've been using. And if we go to the user/hold settings section, you're going to see that this is where it is, the Hemlock push notification enabled. Just for people's information, Hemlock means like the app, like the way that the app was built and what platform it was built on. So it's very like technical speak, but we're going to plan on hiding that option. Okay, and I'll go back to the PowerPoint and then we'll wrap this up and leave time for questions. Okay. All right, so nothing on push notifications, but let me know if you have any others later. These were these slides that we just went through. Okay, so now let's talk about those optional tiles that you saw. We have 3 of them, which are events, ebooks, and digital, and museum passes. So it only works if you have a link that we could use because that's basically what those are. They're buttons that will link to your website with information about it. Litchfield has one set up for all of them. So this is an example of like what they look like. So the events page will send over to their event calendar on the website. The ebooks and digital will send over to a digital collection page that they have on their website. And the museum passes will link over to the museum passes. So this could only work if you have custom links for all of these, but unfortunately, I don't think that we have any integration when it comes to, what was it, libcal was one of the questions that was asked here. Because libcal, I don't think integrates with Evergreen like fully anyways, so this is really just like an option to have if you like want your patrons to be able to tap those and go to a website that's associated with it. Not everybody has signed up for this optional service yet, but we think it's pretty helpful at least. And the way that you can do that is just submit a help desk ticket with whatever links that you want. And again, these are the 3 tiles that we have. It doesn't have to be all 3 of them. It could just be whatever ones that you want to select. But by default, these won't be available unless if someone asks us basically to turn it on. So that's basically what these three tiles are. Depending on your library, and especially if you're looking at it right now, might not have it. Okay, so really that's all I have for the screenshots. I'm going to switch over to the iPad to do some screen sharing. So just give me one moment here and we'll move some things around. But if you want to ask any questions, please feel free to. You had a lot of great questions today, everybody. I appreciate everyone making this a nice discussion. So get a co-host. Go. Question here. Oh, sorry. If you hide Hemlock, staff won't know that the patron has some kind of notification set. That's a good point. Thank you, Francie, for letting us know about that. Um, I'm wondering if well, we could definitely bring that feedback to a discussion and then go from there. So, sorry, one second. I'm moving over to the iPad for a moment. Let's see if that comes up. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and answer some other questions that we had based on I haven't done this on a device like that for a moment. So I feel like the option to do light or dark mode should be in iOS. Oh, wow. Let me try switching this over to vertical. Oh, yeah, it might not be something that's available. Sorry about that, everybody, if I led you astray here. Um, You know what anyone who was curious about the light mode option in iPad or iOS, could you let me know what your email is so I could talk to our developer and see where that setting lives? I feel like we should have it available, but it doesn't seem like we have it at least within the screen itself. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. Everything is still a work in progress with this. Let's see here. So, do you recommend a certain type of model of scanners? Tested ours at the desk at Beardsley and the digital board. Unfortunately, I don't know anything offhand, Anna, but I could try to get back to you. Trying to think if anyone actually has any recommendations, that'd be good. But I know for us, we only really have like through Biblio two or three types of scanners that we scanning manufacturers at least that we vet. So it would have to I would only know based off of like those particular ones we could try. Totally understanding of it all being work in progress. Yeah, I'm sorry, Laura. I should probably also mention that too. Um, okay, so it looks like someone did recommended scanners for someone who worked. Okay, yeah, I'll have to talk to the right department about it. But it seems like there is something out there that does work. Francie, it might be that the settings on the phone itself need to be changed. Yeah, that could be possible. Um, let me take a look at that. But if anyone has any other questions while we're moving along with this, let me know. I'm sorry if it's going to look like I just never really use an iPad ever. So if someone does actually know like where it lives, that would be nice. But I'll try to look around in the meantime. Can there be an option in the app to change the configuration of the barcode? I don't think so. I think that's pretty static. And if we were to look into an option, we would have to ask our developer about that. No, it's not. Okay, setting display brightness. Brightness? Oh, sorry, yeah, light. There you go, it's under appearance. So that might be it, actually. Yeah, okay. So it's not specific to the app in particular like Android is, which is interesting. It's specific to the whole device completely. So it looks like, yeah, if you do want to have a light mode option, everything has to be light mode. Looks like we don't have a singular option to do that within the app. So thank you. That was a great tip. Appreciate that. Okay. And yeah, I appreciate everyone also being patient with this. The app, although we did have it for some time, has gone through different iterations of development. And because like, us being involved like with the system itself, sometimes we don't really look at the app as much. And yeah, lots of work in progress with it as well. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's any other questions here, but we'll definitely take the feedback that we got from this as well, and put it into the instructional videos. I'm very happy that everyone brought in questions that will be really instrumental in us trying to get some good information out there about how to use the app completely. If anyone has other questions, you could submit it to help desk if you want to add in those additional optional tiles. You could do it through help desk as well. Again, you don't have to have every single one of those. You could like pick and choose as you would like to. And if you have, other feedback, you could also submit to help desk too. Although we don't have direct access to development with the app and we do contract that out, it is nice to see that there is like interest in wanting that to be a very powerful tool. And it'll also benefit other libraries that use Evergreen too. So, this recording will be available on the website along with some updated things. I'll probably update a couple of screenshots for you. Was there anything else that anyone wanted to see on the iPad though before we adjourn today? I'm not sure when it'll be live, but we try to get it up as soon as we can. I'll try to get it up as soon as Monday next week. I just have a Friday off, but we'll try to get this up as live as we could. I use the app with my Android actually ups the brightness with the Trumbull library. Automatically ups the bright. Oh, when Danielle, when you mean when you try to use the barcode? Okay, great. Up the brightness as well. All right, great. All right, then I guess you don't really have to worry about adjusting the brightness manually, but that option is there in case if you need it. Okay, so it looks like there's no further questions. We'll go ahead and stop the recording.